Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, I am the Introverted Reader. Although today's video is not going to be book related. Today's video is actually going to be a movie review of the biopic film based off of Elvis's life. It's basically just called Elvis. I saw this movie when, like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. The days are blurring together, but I saw it not too long ago with my aunt and my cousins, and I have a lot to say. Obviously, first of all, let's hydrate first. If you have yet to hydrate, please do. I'm just gonna be sitting here holding this because I don't like not having something in my hands while I'm talking. But anyway, yeah, it's been a while since I've done a movie review. I did a TV show review not too long ago about one of the Star Wars miniseries, but it's been a while since I've done one for a movie. But obviously, I'm sure you're all familiar with Elvis Presley, and who he is. And this movie is basically a biopic about his life. And it starts off sort of like in the late 50s, all the way up to obviously the late 70s when he passed away. And listen, I'm going to tell you now, Austin Butler, who plays Elvis, is phenomenal. Probably this entire video is just going to be about me gushing about him and how wonderful he is. And the performance that he gives in this movie, like one of the things that I love about watching movies is sitting there and like you're sitting there and you're just watching an actor give the performance of their life, and you can like if I can feel the performance that they're giving, if I'm feeling the emotions that they're supposedly feeling in that moment, then I know I'm like, yes, I love this. And that's literally exactly what I got. Like, and I saw so many comments on like YouTube videos and like Facebook videos and stuff, you know, with interviews with Austin, and they were from a lot of like older Elvis fans who were there from like way back when, you know, the type of people that actually saw the real Elvis live, which is mind-boggling to me. Like, you've no idea how lucky you are to be one of those people. Like, the same people that have said that, oh yeah, I saw Michael Jackson way back when in the 90s, or I saw him in the 80s, and you're just like, do you have any idea how lucky you are to be able in the presence of like music royalty? Like, you're so lucky. But anyway, a lot of older Elvis fans, you know, that were, you know, fans of him from way back when, you know, leaving comments on these videos saying, you know, like, I was there at this concert back in like 68, or like I was there in the 50s as a child and saw him. And they talked about how much Austin embodied Elvis and like really got him down, and that really warmed my heart. Like, they were all saying like, God bless this young man, like he really did a great job. And I was just like, yes, if the oldies like it, then I'm like, that's great. But like, oh my goodness. So, and the second reason as well that I love this video so much, obviously apart from Austin's performance, is the fact that I love and adore Baz Luhrmann as a director. Like, seeing one of his movies is like a full-on experience. Like, you feel like you go on a full-on trip when you see one of his movies, and you kind of walk out and you're like, oh, wow. And like his like, I love the way he did it, because a lot of times they would like sort of intersperse like real life footage from Elvis's concerts back then, and then sort of interwove them with, you know, like the actors in the movie and scenes from the movie and stuff. And like the way he did it, it was just so good, and like just so well shot. And you know, it was just it was just so well done. And I'm speaking as someone, my experience with Elvis Presley is pretty much, I feel really bad saying this, but it was like a caricature version in my head. Like, I had in my head this man in a white sparkly suit being like, thank you very much, you know, like that. And like the extent of my knowledge of his music was the Lilo and Stitch soundtrack, which I know is really bad. And I've always been really intrigued by like people in history who, you know, like really iconic musicians like Elvis and Michael Jackson, and Prince, and you know, and actors like Elizabeth Taylor, you know, like people like them who were like so like out of this world famous, and just like I'm fascinated. Like obviously I'm fascinated by their work, but at the same time I'm fascinated by like them as people. And one of the things I loved about this was that it really portrayed Elvis the person as opposed to Elvis the musician or Elvis the artist, because it centered more around his relationship with his manager, who was a crafty old bastard. Oh my gosh. And Tom Hanks does an amazing job in this movie as well. Like Tom Hanks is like dad to everybody. He's like he's amazing. Anything that Tom Hanks does, I'm just wowed by. I'm gonna take another drink. And you should too. And I won't lie, I did get a little bit choked up towards the end of this movie because, you know, there's a scene where, you know, obviously Priscilla is mentioned because Priscilla was his wife. And, you know, there's a scene where, you know, it's after they've divorced and he's dropping Lisa off after spending time with her. You know, Lisa's only like a small child at this point. And there's this scene where, you know, he says goodbye to Lisa and Priscilla gets in the car and like holds his hand and like asks if he's okay. And in like Austin looks amazing, you know, for someone who's playing a man in his late 30s, who not that in your late 30s is old, but I'm just saying, you know, like playing a man who's like been through so much, you know, and he was only in his late 30s, you know, and he's like sitting there. She asks him if he's okay, and he's just like, I'm gonna be turning 40 soon. Like 40, is anybody gonna be talking about me like in the future? And I'm sitting there for real with genuine emotion in, you know, genuine emotion in here, and getting a little bit choked up in the eyes. I didn't actually cry, but I got a little bit choked up, and I'm just sitting there being like, there's not a single person on this earth that is going to not know your name, Mr. Presley. I will tell you that much. You know, like, whatever personal issues you have, you cannot deny that he was an icon. You can't deny that, you know, he was someone who flipped America on his head with the dance moves and the, oh my goodness, that whole thing. Like, they wanted to arrest him. They wanted to put him in jail. I was like, that's crazy. But like, wow, just the whole thing. And at the very end, they showed the actual concert, like his very last concert in Vegas before he died, and it got to me, you know. And one thing I'll say as well, they showed the news report, you know, the reporters in the news were reporting that Elvis had passed away, and it was the way that the reporter was talking really bothered me. Like, he was just sitting there and he goes, well, Elvis died today, and I was just like, could you show the teeny tiniest little bit of empathy? Like, does being a reporter take away your humanity? Like, what is wrong with you? And, you know, it's like I said, like, whatever personal issues, like, yes, he was a musician, yes, he was an icon, yes, he was all these things, but what I loved about this movie was that it showed a person who got skyrocketed all the way to fame and fortune, and he was just this little country boy, you know. He was this little country boy from Mississippi, and, you know, and then moved to Memphis, obviously. But like, he was just this little country boy that like started off performing, you know, doing all of this on a hayride, and then next thing he knows, he's like everywhere. And it shows like really what all that can do to a person in here, and emotionally and physically as well, because we all know that the poor guy was not well by the end of it. And I'm saying that with all the sensitivity in my heart. He was not well by the end of it. But like, I love the movie so much. I love Austin Butler so much, honestly. Like, that man fully has me right by the throat, and I'm okay with it. Do you know what? I've been watching so many interviews of him, but what I will leave linked down below is, you know, those BuzzFeed videos that they do where they get celebrities in and they get them to play with puppies while they answer the questions? They got Austin Butler in to do one of those, and I will leave his link down below because it's so cute. Like, it's like watching two puppies playing with an even bigger puppy, and it's adorable. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this movie. Like, go and see it if you want. If, you know, like, whether you knew very little about Elvis like I did, or you're an absolute mega fan, you know, obviously, I mean, the mega fans would have gone. And I will say, whenever the movie ended, when I went to see it, a couple people did clap. There was a few instances where people clapped, actually, like during the concerts and stuff. And like Austin did the singing. Austin did a lot of, like, that is his voice in the beginning of the movie. I'm just letting you know, like, that was him playing and doing the singing and stuff, which I didn't know. But like after a lot of those sequences, even though it is Austin, the actor, you know, on the screen portraying Elvis, like after a lot of those people were clapping, you know, and I was just like, yes, applaud him, he's amazing, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would highly recommend going to see Elvis, and once it's available for me to watch here at home, I will definitely be watching numerous times. But yes, let me know if you've seen this movie or what you thought of it, or if you plan on seeing it yourself. What is your, like, oh, what is your ideal, what is your, okay, so who would be your choice of a celebrity to do a BIPOC of next? Let me know. Like a biopic, sorry. Let me know who would you like to, who you would like, whose story do you want to see played out in a movie, and who would play that person. Let me know, okay? So I've talked your ear off long enough. My social medias are down below. Next video will be book related, I promise. But yeah, stay good. I'll see you later.